It's time to be Tuesday, and we are looking at Hard Target 2. And, well, so after watching the original with Jean-Claude Van Damme, from your point of view, 2 weeks ago, for me, yesterday, because I'm filming these, pre-filming these, I had no intention of watching or reviewing this one. I'm like, you know what, doesn't have Van Damme. And then I came up with, I'm going to do an update video at some point. Came up with an idea for November, what I want to do. And so I figured it has to do with Van Damme. So I figured I need something to replace a Van Damme movie I was going to do, which was Hard Corpse. And I decided to do Hard Target 2. So, I think it's Hard Corpse. Hard Target 2 would star Scott Adkins, and it's the most dangerous game, again. And it basically has a similar setup. You have this guy, he's being chased, there's a woman that comes in, the main villain is a dude and his henchmen, and there's a bunch of other killers coming around trying to kill him. Difference is, it's not in the city this time, it's in Myanmar and Thailand. This girl has a brother, I think he ends up dying at some point, and he's offered rubies. And he's not trying to help anyone, find their father or anything. People will claim this is not a sequel to the first one. And in a way, it's not. It's a sequel in name only. But if it has the number 2, it's a sequel. I don't care if it's connected, however loosely, it's a sequel. Alright? And so I wasn't shocked to find this out, but apparently it just doesn't have a very good rating. Like, there's like 1 out of 5 stars on one site, and then like 5 out of 10 on another site, and I'm just like, because I actually kind of enjoyed this movie. Don't get me wrong, it's not as good as the first one, and it's not a great movie, but it's not bad. Scott Adkins, he's no Van Damme, and we'll be talking about him in a future movie with Van Damme, but he's not bad. His character, Wes, was in an MMA fight. He was forced to fight his best friend for the title, or they were both in line for the title, and they were forced to fight to see who got the title. And there's a lot of money on the line, and during the fight, he goes for the knockout and accidentally kills his friend. And this sends him into exile, and eventually he is found by this guy, played by Robert Nepper, who says to him, hey, how about one last fight? Turns out, though, it's a trick, and this one last fight is a run through the jungle of Myanmar to try to escape these people. If he does, he wins $1 million in rubies at the end, once he gets to the border. And from then on, it's the most dangerous game. That's all it is. I did like the shot when he realizes what's going on. They do this spin camera thing, this Michael Bay camera spin, and then he sees they let these other 2 guys out. One of them gets killed right away, and that's when he realizes what's going on. He's like, you're fucking nuts, and you have this much seconds. And so he runs, and he has to hide. Now, this is not directed by John Woo, but there are John Woo-isms in this film to kind of try to, connect it to the first one, I guess. There's a few scenes, not as many, but a few scenes of slow motion. And the doves. There's one scene we see him at whatever place he's staying at in Myanmar, when we first see him there, and there's just like 3 doves where he's sleeping. I'm just like, really? We want to show, have the kind of style that the first one did, and so doves are just standing there. Okay. I didn't like it, like it because, I didn't like it because of the subject that's what's happening in the scene, but the first fight scene, it's choreographed pretty well, and I did kind of like the way, there was slow-mo in it when he's yelling his name, but I did kind of like that first scene where they fight. What I didn't like is they start with these two Asian people running, and then they cut to a few days earlier, and they go, it's him, But, yeah, and along the way, he meets this woman. Apparently, her brother was one of the guys, the Asian guys that was running, and she just comes out of nowhere. Like, you look at the cover for this is Scott Adkins and Rona Mitra. So you think they're going to be the ones running together. No, she's one of the bad guys. And he's with this Asian chick. There's a little bit more romantic tension between them than Van Damme and Yancy Butler in the first one. But it still doesn't work. And I don't think they were actually pushing towards that. There's just some, but nothing that's forced or anything. For his part, Scott Adkins is pretty good. He doesn't do much of the flippity kicks. He does some. There are some flippy kicks in this. Some hand-to-hand stuff. But most of the time, there's guns and arrows and stuff. Like the original. More so because I guess Scott Adkins is more cooperative than Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is what I do flippy kicks for the whole movie. And I gotta say that something I didn't mention in my review for the first one is Van Damme's greasy mullet. Here, Scott Adkins just has regular short hair. But, yeah. I did like the villains. Robert Nipper is really good, and his henchman is played by Tamara Morrison, or Boba Fett, or Aquaman's dad, for those of you who may want to reference. But Boba Fett, most likely. Or Jango Fett. He's also Boba Fett in The Mandalorian. Whatever. Yeah. Even though I don't think the age fits well. I don't know if I discussed this in my review for The Mandalorian Season 2, but I don't think that Tamara Morrison's age fits with how old he should be in The Mandalorian, because it's before, takes place after the events of Jedi, right? A few years. Should be in his 30s at least, but I don't know, I'm not going to go there. But, anyway, back to this movie. I think it's fine. It's fine, it's not spectacular. I don't get to hate, actually. I actually really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I do like that it was mostly in the woods. You know, when I think of the most dangerous game, they're in the jungle, running around. That's what I think of. I appreciated the first one, and the fact that it was in the city, it was different. This goes back to the formula of the most dangerous game, and yeah, it is back to basics, and it is kind of a downer where, okay, they're just chasing after him, and there's this guy who they're not supposed to have any cameras, but the guy wants to record what's going on for posterity, and that's what gets him in trouble. All the bad guys die, of course, and and then Scott Adkins, he helps. He buys the late wife or girlfriend of helps buy the wife and her girlfriend of his late friend the beach house that his friend wanted to buy. And he's living in Myanmar now, I guess. And it's kind of weird that during the credits, I thought something was going to happen. Like, he's walking, and he's just walking around Myanmar or whatever, and there's a train coming, and I'm like, are they going to do a surprise Van Damme cameo where the train pulls up, he comes out, and he's standing there? Well, what took you so long? Something like that. No, just him walking to his house. That's it. Like, was that necessary to put in the credits? I don't think this movie is terrible. It's not a fantastic film by any stretch of the imagination, but I would kind of recommend it. Just know going in, It's not going to connect to the first one. It can also be said that it's a remake of the first one with different stuff in it. Yes, there's no Van Damme, but Scott Adkins is actually pretty good, and it's enjoyable. I think I don't get the hate. I guess there are people out there who, just because Van Damme's not in it, there are people. You know, I could do a whole list, maybe like a top 5 of movie sequels to Van Damme movies that don't have Van Damme. You know, it's Hard Target 2, Time Cop 2. There's 2 Universal Soldier movies, directed to TV movies that didn't have him in it. There was Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li that was supposed to have him in it, but he was unavailable. What else? Kickboxer 2. Bloodsport 2. There's a whole string of Kickboxer movies and Bloodsport movies without him in it. You know, they make sequels without Van Damme. If you're going to hate on them because they don't have Van Damme in them, well, that's not fair to the other actors. I'm just saying, just because they make sequels to Van Damme movies without Van Damme in them. Although I would like to see a Time Cop sequel with Van Damme in it. Not Jason Scott Lee, not the dude from Charmed who was in the TV series version. Yes, there is a TV series version. And I do want to do a short-lived on that because it was a short-lived. But yeah, this movie, I liked it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's nothing spectacular. It's not as good as the first one, but I do recommend it. I think it's a fun little action romp. You know, you're action fans, you might get some enjoyment out of it. Don't listen to the people who say it's a terrible movie. It's not. It may be a little generic, but it's a direct-to-video movie. You kind of expect that, right? You know? But I do recommend it. So what are your thoughts on Hard Target 2? There you go. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.